Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nashville, Tennessee. On the campus of Lipscomb University, it is the ASUN Men's Soccer Championship. Tonight here in Nashville, it's an opening round matchup between two teams that are very young and quite talented. The 5 seed is the Liberty Flames. They come in with a mark of 7-8, while the 4 seed Stetson is 7-6-2. And I say young and talented, no less than 7 of the top 12 freshmen in the league are on these two teams this year, and they had a very entertaining battle earlier this season at Stetson. It was the conference opener for both teams, and Liberty won that matchup by a score of 2-1. So Stetson's trying to avenge that defeat and move on to the semifinal round. The winner of this matchup will face Lipscomb, the top seed, on Sunday. Stetson is the team that you will see in white, or excuse me, in black. Liberty is the team in white tonight. Liberty has not won an ASUN men's tournament match in recent years since moving over. Stetson, meanwhile, has had a lot of turnover and is really trying to establish the tenets of its very young program. In fact, of the 37 players on the Stetson roster, as we see Oliver Broinis standing over the ball at midfield for Stetson, again, they're in the black with the green and white trim as they will get things started. 24 of the 37 players on their roster are freshmen. Liberty will play fairly direct, where Stetson will want to put the ball on the ground a little bit more and play through. As it's kicked off Liberty, so a throw in coming for the Stetson Hatters. This is Gabriel Toro, one of the many freshmen, who's going to take the throw in. Onyango wins the ball for Stetson, or rather for Liberty, but Stetson will get it back and play it back. Now, Stetson plays 3 in the back, so they will play a 3-4-2-1, where on the other side, you're going to see Liberty play a 4-3-3, and Liberty is hoping to really spread the field and create some opportunities on the flanks against the Stetson team. We mentioned Stetson lost the first matchup at home 2-1. It was a match that was delayed for a part by a thunderstorm. That not in the offing tonight. In fact, chilly temperatures, clear skies. It'll get down into the 40s at some point tonight. As Toro moving up the right flank, centering pass is not able to be handled at the top of the 18. Gabe Finley almost cleared it away, and then it's knocked away by Stetson. So Liberty will stay with it right to left in the first minute and change of play here in Nashville, Tennessee. Liberty's head coach is one of the more experienced coaches in this ASUN, that being Kelly Finley. He spent 6 years as the head coach at NC State from 2011 to 2016. Really wants to establish an identity of toughness and competitiveness. On the flip side, Stetson has had 6 coaches in 8 years, and for Emmett Rutkowski, their head coach, this is really his first major Division I head coaching job. And he's done a fine job. In fact, last year in that COVID season where men's soccer went to the spring, Stetson won just 1 match. So this year they have won 7, so it is a major step forward. As a step in by Stetson, and here they come on the run out, but nicely defended by Stetson as they get back for the moment. And here comes Stetson with a quick counter. No one there. Malik Smith, one of the captains, playing it toward the middle of the field. You can see Stetson, or rather Liberty, playing 4 in the back. That is Smith with the ball right now. And the centering pass is taken away. That's Daniel Herrera with the ball. He was the freshman of the year in the ASUN, and really a talented scorer. 7 goals led Stetson this year. And there are 4 freshmen for Stetson that will play significantly that were on the all-freshman team in the ASUN this year. That's Gabe Finley, a fine freshman on the other side. Had Noah Holmes been able to get on the other end of that, he might have been offside, as it's now played by the keeper, Jacob Gruber. His first touch. He's a grad student, one of the few experienced players for the Stetson side. He was a backup at the University of Indiana, a fine college program, and then has really brought stability here. 3 shutouts this year for Stetson. These teams similar in terms of their numbers. Stetson has outscored the opposition 28-23. Liberty 28-22 and separated by 1 goal earlier this year. Nice play by Holmes. He had a run out and a goal in the first matchup between the two teams. Feeds it back, trying to get it to Marko Matrevsky, who's an all-conference player, first-team all-conference player. But Stetson with the takeaway. Nice job to get it out to the wing to Toro. And here comes Toro on the flank with some teammates alongside. And his push and his run will lead to a corner for Stetson, their first of the match. So first real dangerous chance, just about 4 minutes in. Again, Neil Solon's with you from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. A lot of soccer to be played on this pitch during the course of this weekend. The women's championship tomorrow for an NCAA bid between Kennesaw State and the host team Lipscomb. And then Lipscomb on the men's side at 3 Eastern, 2 Central will take on the winner of this matchup to see who moves on to that championship. Headed out, Toro trying to keep it in play. Stetson will play it down. And now Stetson will reset near midfield. Alvaro Gabancho, who's another first-team all-conference player, sliding now a little bit to the right flank with Toro on his right. And puts it right on frame at the near post. Not a difficult chance, but one of the first touches for Danny Cordero. Cordero from Costa Rica, a sophomore. He and Blake Franzen have split time in net, with Cordero dealing with some illness during the course of the year and really coming on as of late. In fact, last match for Liberty, they won 4-1. Their most lopsided game of the year in the conference. Conference very balanced in the ASUN in men's soccer. In fact, there have been 5 different champions in the last 6 years, with FGCU the only team to repeat. And in the other opening round matchup tonight, as that ball is well deflected by Pereira. Back to the netminder in Cordero. The only other opening round matchup tonight, Bellarmine beat FGCU 2-1. They will take on the 2-seed Central Arkansas on Sunday. So that is the one semifinal that has been determined. And the championship is slated for a week from tomorrow. That would be Saturday the 13th. Coming off his line is Cordero, and will quickly play it out. Stetson with a lot of high pressure so far. On Yango, playing fairly direct. And off his line, Gruber to handle with his feet. Jacob Gruber, we mentioned, a grad student, started 4 matches, the final 4 matches of the spring last year for Stetson. Again, they won just once in 8 tries. Very different years. Here's Gabancho playing it long and direct ahead. Who is Scattergood couldn't get there. And then Cordero has to boot it away, leading to a throw-in. Pretty good run by Scattergood, who's a former top freshman in the league. Well organized in the back there was Liberty. Played back, more of the action on the Liberty side of the field, as Stetson controlling some of play in the first 7-8 minutes. They probably had the better of play in the first matchup in terms of possession against Liberty, but Liberty had the more dangerous chances, many of them on counters. Here's Pereira with a nifty move. Nothing there. And well defended. Nice quick touch. And now the other way. Here come the Flames. That's Seth Clark with it. Nice tackle. Lost it. Toro and Pereira with a nice heel. And a little bit too firm. Not enough touch to be able to come up with that on the run. Grayson Gardner, another freshman, he from North Carolina. Comes from a really athletic family. His father played basketball at Clemson. We're in the 9th minute. Scoreless between Liberty and Stetson. really have not had a true dangerous opportunity for either side as they feel each other out in these opening round matchup at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Again, the winner moves on in the ASUN Championship here in men's soccer and will play less than 48 hours from now. Field in great shape. Had some rain earlier in the week, but again, crisp and cool and no threat of any precipitation tonight. It's Luke Eberle controlling. Up the flank to Finley, the son of Kelly Finley, the head coach. Nice ball played onto by Brant Betts as they move one of their backs on the right side forward. And here comes a goal kick for Stetson. Again, the Hatters 6 coaches in 8 years. Liberty, a program with a lot more stability on the coaching side in men's soccer. Kelly Finley in his 3rd season. Also, again, with a lot of young players. And he said he knew that coming in, that it was going to be a very young group. And really trying to establish the type of soccer that he wants to see play. A feistiness, a competitiveness, a toughness, almost a grit. Toro really athletic on the flank. Nice takeaway. Coming up was Gardner. And here comes Matrevsky, who's coming off a 2-goal game for the first time in the college ranks for him. Did that against UNF. One of his first touches in the middle. Stetson now reversing field. And now again to the opposite side. It's Stephen Johnson out left. Played it too firm. Throw for Liberty now. As we work our way into our 11th minute. Gardner playing it back toward Malik Smith. To Onyango. And now up ahead, a good touch. Well defended. And falling down, and now an advantage called, and it'll go back to Stetson. And from just inside the 18, that was very well defended by Stetson. Ball had some pretty good pace on it. Stetson was quite prepared. You know, coming into this matchup, Stetson in the first contest between the two teams, we mentioned a 2-1 battle. They dropped that. Here comes a quick counter by Stetson. That's no Holmes. Holmes, one of the top scorers for Liberty. Now to Finley. Played back for Holmes. He has a little bit of space. Good back heel. And it'll go Stetson's way. Timing not quite there. Our officials for today's game, Andrew Masashi is our referee, Andy Boyle, Daniel Tibbetts assisting with Sky Medley, our alternate official in a 3-man crew. First matchup, we got a little bit chippy at the end between these two teams. Again, it was the opening match, and after that, Stetson actually went on a 5-match win streak after dropping that 2-1 contest. In fact, had they not lost their last matchup of the regular season, they were in position to get the #1 overall seed. By tiebreakers, they were moved down to the #4 seed, and that's why they are facing Liberty tonight. Again, lots of balance within the ASUN. Soccer has gotten stronger from year to year on the men's side, and the women's side for that matter. As Stetson to maintain in our 14th minute. So far, Not really any dangerous chances on either side. Off his line to play at Cordero with his chest. Stetson playing fairly direct there. Trying to use some high pressure. That's Scattergood and Pereira right at the top. Liberty breaks. Off his line. Well played by Gruber, and also some help from Toro. Pretty good run by Seth Clark. Clark, a player from New Zealand who made second team All-Conference. Good defense by Holmes. Noah Holmes, a terrific story. The player who just had that deflection out of bounds leading to a Stetson throw. Holmes is a former walk-on, sophomore from North Carolina. He has scored 6 goals this year. His dad, a former football player, the American kind, and played football at NC State. Well played in the middle by Eberle of Liberty, but taken back by Stetson. And they play on. The tackle from behind by Matrevsky on Pereira, who wanted a call, it appeared. Now up the sideline comes Liberty. Deep throw in for Liberty. This will be one of their first dangerous opportunities of the match. Should be Grayson Gardner to handle on the throw. Noah Holmes is right outside the 6, along with Luke Eberle right at the goal mouth. Those are the players that Liberty likes to get in the box on these set pieces. And off his line to handle it, Gruber. A good organization by Stetson. Lots of high ball pressure now from Liberty in the Stetson end. Kind of shanked there by Gruber, so Liberty will get it back just inside midfield. We're in the 17th minute. Liberty will stay with it. They're the team in white. Stetson with the black tops. The two-tone black tops with the green trim. Neither team is substituted to this point. Few players warming up, starting to get loose on each sideline. And again, what is a chilly night, temperature starting right around 50 degrees. Toro, who's got excellent speed on the flank. All freshman performer, can't slide between two defenders, is Onyango is there to send it away for Liberty. Stetson able to recover and regain possession. Broinus, who scored the goal for Stetson in the matchup against Liberty, there with the quick touch. And now sent into the box and knocked away by Malik Smith. Gabe Finley comes back to help. And Stetson quickly with the intercept. Here's Broinus. Nice knockaway. Matrevsky, after Noah Holmes, able to deflect. And now Finley, who's got very good 1v1 skills, showing a little burst. Knocked away, though. Stetson will send it long and fairly direct and headed down by Gardner. Alex Smith, left center back, sends it all the way down. Gruber is there. So far, both teams fairly clean, very few fouls called. Really no chances of any danger to this point in time. One save for Cordero. It was not a difficult one. One shot registered by Stetson. That's it. Most of the match between the 35s to this point. Matrevsky plays it back for Bortuski. Now back toward the middle, and it's reversed to Gardner. But Toro with a good intercept with the chest. The lead up ahead for Pereira, but Malik Smith there. And he'll send it back to his netminder, and Cordero, who lost it. Here's Pereira with a dangerous chance, and he scores! Took it away from the goalie, Cordero off his feet, and then put it into the left corner. Nelson Pereira, his team-leading 8th goal of the season. The freshman of the year with a big play early. It comes in the 20th minute. Sometimes when you have a lot of young players on a team, they will make a mistake. Again, it is a chilly night. While there's no precipitation, it may not be as easy to hold the soccer ball or play it. And there, Cordero maybe didn't recognize how quick and how close Pereira was. Once he made the intercept, he was able to settle and had an easy opportunity. So it is Stetson that strikes first. And now we'll see how Liberty tries to answer. Toro, who's shown a lot of burst, sends it down, wanted a call. Was there an advantage? Yes, there was. And it'll stay with Stetson. And the quick restart. This is where Stetson can be very, very tough because they really play the ball well on the ground. Liberty gets it back now, and we'll see how aggressive, again, they are on the offensive end. They really have not been able to generate anything to this point in time. It's been controlled by Stetson in the middle. And they've got a chance again, but Smith steps up. Toro's been active on that right flank. Good feed up ahead for Pereira. And knocked away by Malik Smith, but that will result in a Stetson corner. Another good run by Toro and Pereira. It'll be Broinus to take the corner. Already Stetson, the team in black, with a 1-goal lead. 25th minute for Nelson Pereira. Left foot to the back post, headed into the air. And a good effort by Stetson, but couldn't get a whole lot on it. That was Alvaro Gabancho who tried to head it. He, the center back in this 3-4-2-1 shape for Stetson. As we're right at the midway point now of this first half in the opening round matchup of the ASUN Men's Championship. Winner again gets Lipscomb. They are the top seed. Last year, it was Jacksonville that won the conference championship. We mentioned there have been 5 champs in the last 6 years, Lipscomb winning in 17 and 18. As it's played long and direct, and Stetson was there, and they will get the goal kick. So far, a clean sheet for keeper Jacob Gruber, and he's not been tested. Just has had to come off his line a couple of times. Liberty has not been able to really get much forward in terms of numbers to this point. It'll stay with Stetson as Gabancho had gone down. Played long for Pereira. Toro was on his right. Gardner defending. Which way does it go? And after a hesitation, it will stay with Stetson. And Stetson continuing to put pressure on here. That's Gabancho. Now toward the middle. William Suat with the touch quite before that, and for one of the few times, Stetson not quite with the timing. So we'll see if Liberty can take advantage here. 25th minute. Again, only goal of the match from Nelson Pereira for Stetson, his team leading 8th. Again, he the freshman of the year on a team that had several freshmen that were honored. Pereira, Gabriel Toro, Steve Johnson, and Alejandro Gabani. That'll stay with Liberty. Sportsmanship shown by Pereira as he helps up Gardner, who went down on the last play. Bit of a fierce collision between the two. Grayson Gardner, again, yet another freshman. He played in the spring. Again, sometimes the name freshman isn't quite accurate for what it once was, just because, in essence, the 2021 spring or 2020-21 season did not count athletically. So it was almost a free year. So sometimes you've got players playing 5 years, they count for 4 or 4 for 3 or whatever it may be. So some of these players who are freshmen actually were also playing collegiately last year, and that goes across the NCAA. Understandably, offering college players that opportunity. Played into the box nicely, but Stetson able to play it out. Liberty will keep, and that was really their first good chance. One area where Stetson's head coach, Emmett Rutkowski, was concerned coming in, he felt that in the first matchup between the two teams, that they needed to do a better job on set pieces and counters. First couple set pieces have been well defended, and the counters. This is Malik Smith for Liberty. Stetson has numbers back. And it'll stay with Stetson now. And we get our first substitutions. Broinus and Scattergood will come off for Stetson. Looks like Gio Rodriguez comes into the middle of the field. It might be Tom DiLorenzo who joins him. So some fresh legs on for Stetson. They've got some dynamic goal scorers. They were playing it ahead for Pereira. Smith was there. Matrevsky starting to assert himself a little bit in the middle of the park. Nice touch. Finley can't quite contain. Good touch for him, though. As we're nearly 2/3 of the way through this first half. A mistake, and then maybe another. Clark gets it down for Eberle. A collision with Toro. Gardner up ahead. Here's Noah Holmes, a dangerous goal scorer. Great feed for Clark. Into the box. Was there a handball? No call. Holmes can't settle. And now I think we might have a foul just outside the box, which will lead to a very dangerous chance. I think Liberty wanted that in the box, which would have been a penalty kick. So here comes Liberty with a chance to get an equalizer. Just outside the 18. Stetson setting up its wall. Matrevsky and Clark over the ball. Matrevsky is who usually ends up taking their set pieces and corners. 3 goals on the year and a couple of assists. First team all-conference player out of Rochester, New York, reigning player of the week in the ASUN. Standing over the ball with Clark. Right into the middle of the wall. Couldn't get it through. Clark sends it back. Pereira couldn't take it away from Malik Smith. Liberty maintaining possession, though. Finley with a nice spin. Advantage will stay with Liberty. So a bit further out, we'll see if it's Clark or Matrevsky who decides to serve this one to the top of the box. Right to the 6. Headed away, will lead to a corner. Another dangerous chance for Liberty, and we'll see some substitutions, I think, on their end. This is Liberty's first change. Michael Catanzarite is in. He's a freshman from Syracuse, New York. Has a couple of goals and 4 assists. He can be quite dangerous. As that ball headed out. Pereira with the knockaway. Matrevsky coming back and will send it to his netminder, Cordero, who made a mistake earlier leading to the only goal. This time he's a little quicker. And Gruber able to come up on a near mistake by a Stetson defender. Holmes was making a pretty good run at that ball. They play on. And now the push up the left flank by Stetson. Liberty's had the better of play the last 5 to 8 minutes. Here's Holmes with some space. Good run. Sent back toward the 6. Mitrevsky trying to get on it. And now Toro with a quick counter. Gardner stepped in. They're letting a lot go between the two. It got a little chippy at the end of the first matchup between Stetson and Liberty. Again, Liberty won that one 2-1. There were a couple of yellows late. And they definitely are letting them play so far as we work our way into the 34th minute. Here comes Clark. Didn't quite have it. A connection there with Noah Holmes. So far, just one save on either side. Shots at 3-2 in Stetson's favor. Corners at 2-1. And again, not a whole lot of calls, just 3 fouls apiece. Mitrevsky after the intercept by Gardner. Arberly playing it off to his right, and the intercept by Johnson. But then the mistake on the pass. Liberty with a deep throw, and they have found a way to sort of answer that Stetson goal. They haven't been able to connect to even the score on the board, but they have put more pressure on, and they've definitely kept it in the Stetson end of the field since. Clark, who's been very active, able to find Bortuski. And it's played right over the top with the cross. Goal kick coming up for Stetson. Again, they're in the black and green. The white and blue for, predominantly white for Liberty, the Flames. They enter today 7-8. ASUN Men's Soccer Championship. Opening round. Semifinal again on Sunday, less than 48 hours away, against the top seed in Lipscomb, which has the last several years been the more dominant program in the ASUN under Charles Morrow, who's the most veteran coach in this conference too. They ended up 5-2 in league with Central Arkansas as well, and Lipscomb by tiebreaker gaining the top seed. As we get another change. For Stetson, they have substituted a little bit more freely. Looked like Connor Bates came on. Toro with a quick takeaway. He's had a sensational half. Alex Turner, one of the captains, who came on. There are tri-captains on the Stetson side. Just one, Mitrevsky for Liberty. A lot of pressure being put on now by Stetson. Hatters will keep possession on the throw from the far side. Johnson plays it toward the 18. Numbers back, and now Toro called for the foul. A little bit of a push on Gardner. So free kick coming up for Liberty. See what kind of leg Cordero can put into this. He had a sensational year last year in the spring. The Liberty won 7 matches in the shortened spring. 7 so far this year in their first 15 chances. As the 50-50 won by Stetson. A mistake, and Clark with the intercept. Knocked away will lead to a deep throw-in, but it does allow Stetson to reset defensively. But very, very fortunate for Stetson that they didn't, the turnover didn't lead to an equalizer. Michael Huss coming on for Liberty. He scored a very important goal in the first matchup between these two teams. In fact, it was the game winner. It was a spectacular goal off an intercept. That again down at Stetson back in September. Stetson with a nice job to defend that deep throw, and they'll get it back as it went off Liberty. Again, if you're just joining us in the 25th minute, a mistake by Cordero well off his line led Nelson Pereira to put one in the back of the net on the left side. And that's our goal, and really the only dangerous chance to this point. First matchup between these two teams was a 2-1 match, but that had a lot more dangerous chances. In fact, Liberty winning 2-1 hit 2 posts in that match. Turner can't run onto it. 3 defenders back for Liberty battling with him. Steve Johnson, one of those 3 backs. Again, rare to see teams play 3 across the back. And they do it quite successfully. Nifty move by Gora. Gora, also an all-freshman performer, but he eventually lost it. Now getting by a couple of defenders with a couple nifty moves, and moving to his left is Stetson's Ajmir Spangler. Now able to get it back. And a handball. And it goes to Liberty. Inside 5 minutes to go in this first half. And this will be Danny Cordero sending it down. All the players well outside the 18 before it's touched. Stetson controlling, and Toro's had plenty of runs down this right flank. Plays it in for Turner. Reverse nicely. A 2-man game in space, and the intercept coming from Liberty. Matrevsky's been very active the latter part of this first half. Stetson with an answer. Spangler. Good feed for Toro. Toro trying to turn, and it's knocked over the crossbar by Cordero. Boy, a very, very quick right foot will lead to a corner for Stetson. And we'll see who takes this one for the Hatters as we come down the final 3 minutes and change here of half number 1. Looks like Ajmir Spangler is going to take it. It will be Spangler. Came in off the bench. Good ball. Knocked away. Stetson will stay with it. Not a single save registered on the Stetson side, so it's been a fairly easy half for Berger, the netminder for Stetson. Here's Turner trying to turn the corner. Toro, his service headed out by Malik Smith. Gora flicks it away. 50-51 by Stetson, but the second ball to Liberty. Johnson with a nice tackle to win that direct chance. Quick counter. Both teams playing fairly direct in the final couple minutes of this first half. And Stetson maintaining more of the possession. Playing it back for Berger. Now for Toro. Gardner there. Gora with that left foot. Put down by Gabancho. Another throw in for Toro. He's been very tough to defend. Matrevsky hoping in this final minute to get one run at Stetson and get that equalizer. Numbers moving forward. Matrevsky loses in the middle of the field. Now Toro. Playing it long for Cordero into the final half minute. Again, 25th minute, our first and only goal to this point. Gardner sends it ahead. Headed out nicely by Stetson. And there will be no really good scoring chances for Liberty this half. Now can Stetson get one in the final handful of seconds? They're content to run the clock out. And Stetson, which lost 2-1 to Liberty in the regular season, now has a 1-0 lead at intermission in the postseason. This is the opening round of the ASUN Men's Soccer Championship here in Nashville, Tennessee. The winner gets the top seed Lipscomb. And so far, at halftime, it's Stetson 1, Liberty 0. We'll continue with the second half. When we come back, we'll count you down. Thanks for being with us for ASUN Men's Soccer.
Social media outlets including Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Visit twitter.com/ASUNSports to begin receiving updates on conference news and twitter.com/ASUNSoccer for updates on everything related to ASUN soccer. If you are looking for more ASUN news, use #ASUNBuilt to get all the latest updates regarding ASUN success.
Welcome back to the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. Neil Solon's with you for what is the ASUN Men's Soccer Championship. This is the opening round matchup between Liberty and Stetson. And as we get set for the second half, Stetson has a 1-goal lead. The only goal came in the 25th minute. It was put in the back of the net by the freshman of the year in the conference. And the 8th goal of the season was put in by Nelson Pereira. It was a mistake by Danny Cordero along his back line. Pereira was able to steal a ball from him and put it in the lower left corner. Stetson really controlled the play in the first half. In fact, they outshot Liberty 5-2. They had more corners, 3-1. In fact, Jacob Gruber, the goalie for Stetson, did not have a single save. There was not a shot on frame. Liberty will try and change that here in half number 2. They will start with possession here in the second half, as they are the team of the home white with the blue shorts and trim. And we'll see how aggressive they are and what adjustments they've made under their veteran head coach Kelly Finley. Again, winner advances to the semifinal Sunday with less than a 48-hour turnaround. They'll have to take on the Lipscomb Bisons, the host team, and top seed. The other half of the bracket has Central Arkansas meeting Bellarmine on Sunday. Bellarmine came from behind with 2 late goals and beat FGCU tonight. So the Eagles have been ousted. They're the only team in the last 6 years to win the championship twice. It's been a rotation of teams that have captured the championship. In fact, you know, seeing Liberty and Stetson tonight as a deep throw-in is handled in the box and now deflected, leading to a corner for Liberty. Again, they only had 1 of those in half number 1. Mentioned at the top that Stetson and Liberty have 7 of the top 12 players in the all-freshman team. Wouldn't be shocked if these two teams were in a final next year.
Flames on the corner kick.
So everyone, or nearly everyone, for Liberty inside that 6. It's knocked down and put over the top. It was deflected by Liberty, so it'll lead to a goal kick. That was the first really good chance for the Flames tonight. Stetson was unable to settle. And now Liberty with the intercept. And the foul and a direct chance. Brant Betts taken down. Liberty playing with a little bit more aggressiveness here in the first moments of half number 2. Petrevsky to take the set piece. Good ball. Headed out. And now taken out. Good run, and Pereira was on it for a moment, but Malik Smith takes it away. Michael Catanzarite was on that run. Excuse me, on the other end it was Oliver Broinis for Stetson. Liberty now reversing fields. Possession was somewhat limited in the first half. Trying to build an attack now here in half number 2 with Clark. Beautiful turn toward goal. And now the reset for Eberle. Good service, but headed out. Onyango puts it down. Good 2-player game. Nice run by Eberle. Well defended. Liberty keeps the pressure on. This is Finley on the flank. This is where he's most dangerous. Couldn't quite put it on frame. Goal kick coming from Stetson. All the action for the most part in the Stetson end here. First 4 minutes of half number 2. Again, Stetson maintaining that 1-goal lead. They've had that since the 25th minute. They've had probably one other really good chance since that point. Second ball won by Stetson after Liberty took the 50-50. More high ball pressure by Liberty. Trying to put some pressure on as they stay organized in the back with their 4. Onyango for Clark. No changes, it appears, on the starting lineup for Liberty here in half number 2. Quick counter by Stetson. 50th minute. Stetson had the lead 25 minutes in. Good touch by Pereira. Finley trying to get the takeaway and get possession back for Liberty. Onyango aggressive. Now Clark. Really good low sense of gravity. Tough to stay with. Same for Finley. Now to Mitrevsky. Holmes. Couldn't quite get the timing. Colton Myers now on for Stetson. Left foot down for Broinus, who wins the second ball. Some changes for Stetson here in half number 2. Still have some pretty offensive-minded players on the pitch, but they've got a little more defense there too. Myers not a whole lot of time to this point in this match. Stetson trying to build some numbers. Nice one-touch. Timing not quite there in the box. Right at the 6. That was Rodriguez. Couldn't quite get the connection. Stephen Johnson plays the left side of the 3-back system. Pereira goes down. No call, they'll play on. Onyango fouled. Pereira getting warned. No yellow. It looked like a clear warning that he's getting close. Our head official, Andrew Musashi. Now into our 54th minute of the match. Good ball, headed on frame, but not a whole lot on it, and Gruber there. Should technically count as a save. And it would be his first. Stetson sending it back to the right side where they've had a little more success tonight. Liberty now winning the first and second ball. And then the takeaway by Stetson. Went out of bounds. We'll go back to Liberty on the throw. Liberty fairly direct there. Stetson with a very clean effort in the back so far. I know going into this match, Liberty's head coach Kelly Finley wanted to see if he could get some 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s on the flanks. Yet to really get those chances as Rodriguez tries to send it wide. Finley with the deflection, but Stetson takes it right back. Good ball, and Eberle steps up for Liberty. Liberty not really able to find a ton of connections in their midfield. Rodriguez, who came off the bench in half number one, starting here in the second half. And now Stetson trying to get a little bit of a run after getting through traffic. Johnson to Myers. Good ball down the flank for a dangerous Pereira. As he stutters inside the 18. And it'll come the other way. Two balls won by Liberty, but it will just lead to a touch for the netminder Gruber. That was called an offside against Stetson. I did not think that Stetson was offside at that point, as Pereira was carrying in. This is a beautiful ball. Well played. Now a chance for a cross and a corner. Pretty run on the far flank by the Hatters. Broinus will take the corner with that left foot. Stetson puts one in the back of the net here, and it'll put a ton of pressure on the Flames. Liberty has just not been able to get much going offensively. Sent to the back post, and it's sent out by Cordero. Onyango with a quick touch. But Stetson keeps it down and tries to play it in, and they'll maintain. Again, possession has been in Stetson's favor. Shots now at 5 apiece. Corners 4-1 in the favor of the Hatters. Finley had it for a moment there. Rodriguez with a mistake in space. But Stetson gets back well. Now Holmes with a good ball to Finley. Taken away at the top of the 18. Clark for Betts. Liberty sending more numbers forward. Onyango now in the middle. Ball reversal. Finley able to turn the corner and goes down just outside the 18. And it'll go back to Stetson. No foul called. As we're about 2/3 of the way into this match. Again, Neil Solon's with you from Nashville, Tennessee, on the campus of Lipscomb University, their soccer complex. Beautiful Friday night. One team will face Lipscomb on Sunday in the semifinals. For the last 35 minutes, Stetson has held the edge on the scoreboard. They've had the better of the play for most of the night. Beautiful ball by Rodriguez for Broinus. Looked for Pereira, couldn't quite get the timing down. Pereira will track it down to stay onside. Now the left foot is over the crossbar for a goal kick. Was able to turn with some space. Wasn't quite a dangerous chance. Tough to score from 20, 25 yards out, especially with really no screen for the netminder and Cordero. Pereira, the only goal of the night. Again, fantastic freshman. Stetson has a plethora of scorers who can get dangerous in space. Liberty has limited some of those chances tonight, at least since that mistake in the back. Boy, they let them play on there. Broinus for Myers to Stephen Johnson. Near turnover. Gabani unable to make a run there for Stetson, and now Liberty trying to get some pressure on. And here's Broinus after Gabani created the turnover. Broinus battles, should lead to a deep throw in for Stetson. 63rd minute. And Stetson now trying to put some pressure on. Rodriguez trying to turn the corner on Clark. Beat two defenders and now gets it back. Gabani flicks it on for Pereira. He's onside and went down in the box. They wanted a call. There was none. Liberty about to make a substitution at the next whistle, as Finley carrying up the left side for Liberty. Again, their chance is quite limited. Petrevsky for Finley. Can't connect. Now Pereira trying to win that ball. He and Broinus putting pressure up front. And it's Rodriguez with some pace. Sending it toward the middle, but nothing there. Temperatures continue to cool on this Friday night in Nashville as a good run. Here's Broinus. Broinus has some space. Broinus scores for Stetson. Oliver Broinus gives the Hatters a 2-0 lead A beautiful run up the flank, his 6th goal of the year. And Stetson now with a pretty formidable 2-0 advantage. Native of Sweden, played at Cal Baptist. Transferred into Stetson, one of the more experienced players for the Hatters, on a very young team coming through there to give Stetson a 2-goal advantage in Liberty. Meanwhile, talking it over, trying to motivate themselves to find some sort of answer here. They have been extremely quiet all night. There haven't been a ton of shots for Stetson, but boy, they have made them count. Gamani gets credit for the assist. Been very active in the last few minutes with a couple of interceptions, turnovers forced. Stetson been a little bit deeper in their bench too, and I think they'll probably go with a much more defensive-minded group here. They've been playing 3 in the back. They may even play 4 now. They'll allow Liberty to get some numbers forward. Ajmir Spengler is back on. Stetson has really played very well tonight. Opportunities with any kind of open space have been really limited. Same with possession. Now a turn for Holmes. Holmes, just wide. Holmes, a former walk-on, developing into a standout player. Just missing a chance there. It was sent right over the edge, so it will be a corner. So Gruber got a piece. Now they send it to the far post. Not really a dangerous chance there as Gruber off his line to make the play. The 12th man soon will become the ally, or the time will become the 12th man for the Stetson side. As again, goals by their top 2 scorers, Broinus and Pereira tonight. Neil Solon's with you in Nashville. We're at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex on Lipscomb University's campus. Liberty now playing with some desperation. They need to. Eberle looking for Finley. And Gruber covers up. Again, we mentioned a veteran goalie, backup at Indiana, transferred in, a grad student. Has been a big leader as a foul called on Eberle there. Will he get a caution? Doesn't appear so. But it does go back. To Stetson. Little burst by Liberty. He wanted a foul. Again, they're letting a lot go. Fouls at 7-4. More for Stetson than for Liberty. They've been fairly physical. Stetson getting some numbers. Looks like a Liberty player is down. And they will stop the clock with the player down. Not far from the 18 of Liberty. Noah Holmes. It appears that it was Holmes who was injured.
Checking for the Flames, number 11, Seth Clark. Number 13,
Seth
Jared
Clark
McKechnie.
will come back on. Liberty looking for a combination that can get its team on the board. Liberty, rather than the other side, Stetson's gone very deep into its bench. They have played 8 players off the bench tonight. And, you know, when you're the winner of this gets Lipscomb on Sunday, so you want to be as fresh as you possibly can. Very few for Stetson have gone the distance so far tonight. In fact, only the back 3 of Wintermeyer, Stephen Johnson, and Alessandro Gabbani. Stetson's done a nice job of keeping its players fresh. As the clock stopped with 22 minutes and change potentially left in Liberty's season. As Gruber sends it long. Stetson knocks it away, and now Liberty will try and build something from their own end. More substitutions for the Flames. Looks like Matrevsky came off. Standout midfielder for Liberty. You can re-enter in the second half, not in the first. There's a nice push by Clark. He wanted a foul, none called. Bodied as he went up that left flank. Gruber sending numbers long. Again, they can prefer to play the game fairly directly at this point. Pack it in when Liberty has it. Liberty will try and play it quickly. Jared McKechnie was the new player on in the midfield area for Liberty. Well, here's another dangerous chance headed out by Bortuski for a moment. Stetson keeping some pressure on. They've got numbers. They also have their top 2 goal scorers off the park right now. Still maintaining possession. Well, they certainly have shown tonight why they were within a good moment against FGCU of being the top seed in this tournament. Stetson has played very, very sound defensively. They have made very few mistakes. And they've been able to create some space in the open field. Handball goes back to Liberty. Inside 40 yards. See if Jared McKechnie can make something of this. To the top of the box. Good touch for Clark. Leads to a corner. So McKechnie, freshman from New Zealand, taking that last chance. Back post, headed out. And Stetson sends it away. '72nd minute of the match. Stetson with a very dominating performance to this point in time. By far the dangerous of the chances. They've converted on those opportunities as well. Goals from their top two scorers. And now trying to build an attack. Good through ball. Headed out. Eberle trying to hold on and get it in space to Catanzarite. Again, dangerous chances few and far between for Liberty. Stetson's back three of Gabani and Wintermeyer and Johnson have really been stout. Player down now for Liberty once again. As we're inside 18 minutes, that was Finley who went down this time. He's up and seemingly okay. Almost the entire Stetson defense right near the 18. As McKechnie puts it short to Finley, toward the 6, and headed on frame, but not with a lot of velocity on it. Fairly easy play for Gruber. Been quite clean tonight. It was a mistake by the other netminder, Cordero, that led to Pereira's goal in the 25th minute. And then about 25 to 30 minutes later, it was Boyness on a pretty run from Gabani. Johnson knocking down Catanzarite. No call, it'll be a goal kick. Boy, they certainly have let the boys play on both sides tonight. Physical it has been. And I'll tell you, taking a spill on a night where the temperature's into the 40s on the turf, even if it's natural, doesn't feel so good, I'm sure. There's a mistake, a rare one, by Stetson. But Johnson able to recover. Good takeaway on Yango. Johnson heading it out. And again, another nasty collision. This one I think will be a foul on Stetson. Again, top two scorers for Stetson have been out since they took a 2-0 lead. Finley with a good ball, kept in the box. Clark, maybe one pass too many. It'll stay with Liberty, but time's starting to work against them. Again, winner moves on to Sunday's semi-final in the ASUN Men's Soccer Championship against top seed Lipscomb. They had 1-goal games against both of these sides. Both were 3-2 matches. Again, Lipscomb trying to win the championship, which they did in back-to-back years in 17 and 18. Jacksonville, not in this year's field, won it last year. Again, it shows how balanced the league is. They haven't been able to get the big out-of-conference results, so therefore the RPI is not high enough to get more than one team in the dance, which makes every moment count that much more. Against Central Arkansas Bellarmine, the other half of the bracket after Bellarmine edged FGCU tonight. 77th minute here in Nashville. Stetson in the dark uniforms with the commanding 2-0 edge. And now they can play some keep away. Every moment they force Liberty to work that much harder, take away more energy from a group that needs to get it going on the offensive end. Good ball. Well off frame. Liberty trying to find a way to rally the troops here. Another fresh body coming in for Stetson. Alex Turner, the captain, on for Luis Lara Delgado. Delgado providing some good minutes off the bench. He had been injured and is just kind of getting his legs underneath him. Here's a nice ball for Finley for Liberty. Couldn't get it through, and Stetson gets it back. Alex Smith tangled up, goes down. And it'll go to Liberty. Liberty finding out how feisty Stetson has been defensively tonight. They have let the players play. Stetson now, by the way, with 10 foul calls on the night. Extremely physical. As Liberty needs to find a way to get some pressure on Gruber. They've yet to do that all evening. 3 saves officially registered by Gruber, but really none of them too challenging. But maybe one. McKechnie for Betts. Good through ball. Sent away just outside the 6. A whole lot of connections in space for Liberty. They get an extra man advantage as a Stetson player down though. Here's Finley. Turns. Beautiful shot. Deflected away. That was Gruber's toughest chance of the night. And he was up to the task. In the 80th minute,
Checking for the Flames, number 6, Marco Trevsky.
Gruber able to stone Finley on this turn and fire with that left foot. More changes. Liberty with a throw in to come. Looks like Matrevsky on, maybe with some fresh legs. Substitutions for Stetson as well. Clock stopped with just over 10 minutes to go. Liberty in desperate need of some sort of answer. Finley again This time deflected for a corner.
Liberty on the corner kick.
As we move into our 81st minute. Again, goals by Pereira and Brinus. And the 20th minute and the 64th. The scores tonight. They are the top two scorers for Stetson coming into the match, and they have been up to the task this evening. Good ball in the back post. Finley gets it down, stays in the box. And a nice job to send that one free. Alvaro Gabancho has had a terrific match. He was able to send it long. And now Stetson can continue to play some keep-away. This is Colton Myers. Steven Johnson will play it back for his netminder, who can send it free. And time ticking away on the Flames. Finley running that one down to get it back to Liberty. Stetson remains quite organized in the back. Liberty's not going to be able to score playing that direct. And Alex Smith, one of the captains for Liberty, goes down. The foul on Stetson will lead to this free kick from just outside midfield. Petrevsky has a long leg. He'll try and get this toward the 18. As we're into our 83rd minute. Stetson sends it away for a long throw-in. Again, it has been Stetson's night. They've been outshot now 10-7, but certainly the more dangerous of chances for the Hatters. And they've converted. Each team with 4 shots on goal. Corners at 4 apiece. And most of those for Liberty came after the 2 goals put in by Stetson. Beautiful run. With some time and space. Here's a chance to finish it. And it's put through. What a beautiful run and goal for Stetson. And that is the icing on top of the cake. Ajmer Spangler. With the finish. His 6th goal of the year. And it is all Hatters tonight. A counter, an answer, and after an initial stop, Spangler with the finish. And we are now 7 minutes and 21 seconds from Stetson officially advancing to the semifinal. The only question is whether they'll complete the shutout. Defense has been smothering. Attack has been impressive. Some really impressive goals too. Great individual effort there. Really from end to end by Spangler. For Liberty, they have not managed to win in the ASUN in men's soccer. They lost last year in overtime to Lipscomb. In 2019, they fell in overtime to UNF. And in 18, they lost 2-0 to Jacksonville. This the most lopsided to this point of the matches, at least on the scoreboard. And since they've not had many real true scoring chances, I'd have to say that the score actually rings true to this point. Throw incoming for Stetson as they just take precious seconds off the clock with, again, a commanding 3-0 lead. Charles All now on for Stetson. As we move into the final 5 minutes and change of the match. Stetson has really used almost every player on the bench. We mentioned they have had 37 players, 24 freshmen. But it's not often in a soccer match is Spengler making yet another run, this time 1-on-4, 1-on-5, and still winning the ball. All toward the top of the box. Taken away for a moment, then deflected back in. But they've played more than 20 players tonight. Rare to see that in college soccer, as Christian Vinasco now on too. It's almost an additional 11 that Stetson has used, and again, when you're playing Friday then Sunday and the other team has had a bye, which is how it works in ASUN Men's Soccer Championships, you would figure that Friday team has a huge disadvantage, but watching Stetson tonight and how they've used their bench, it may not be such a disadvantage. It's more about execution. Lipscomb certainly has been the program in the ASUN, I would say the last handful of years, that has been the model of consistency. And chatting with Charles Morrow, the head coach of Lipscomb, he has felt that this might be one of his more talented teams. Maybe not best performing teams to this point, but has the ability to do what the 2018 team did. And let's get to the final 16 in the NCAAs. They're certainly capable if they can get there. Yes, it'll go to Lipscomb on the handball, and just over 4 minutes to play. Matrevsky to handle this dangerous chance. One of the few for Liberty tonight. Alex Smith sent forward toward the far post. Timing not there. And it's kind of been that kind of night on the other side.
Checking in for the Flames, number 22, Blake Myers.
21 players used tonight by Stetson. Liberty starting to go into its bench with the game at 3-0 and all but determined. Blake Myers on the pitch for the first time, one of just a handful of players for Lipscomb who's come off the bench under Kelly Finley. Again, both these teams return basically their entire teams back. Jacob Gruber, the netminder for Stetson, who's been solid but hasn't had to be spectacular, is the grad student of the group. You could almost call it like a father figure. But the back row, freshman, sophomore, freshman. William Suat, one of the captains, a senior. Everybody else is an underclassman. Stetson building a dangerous group of talented scorers for sure, and their defense has been up to the task. The task ahead would be Lipscomb. They've got the Goulden brothers, Noah and Scott. Noah, the standout player, defensive player of the year in conference. As we move down toward the final 2 minutes of the contest. Again, the women's championship is tomorrow night here in Nashville. And we'll have that one on ESPN Plus for you. It'll be Kennesaw State taking on the top seed and host team in Lipscomb, which has been in the final 6 out of 7 years. Kennesaw State, the last 3. So only appropriate that they meet again. Final minute and change. Stetson will improve to 8-6-2. So regardless of how things go from here, they'll have a winning season, which in itself is remarkable because they won just 1 match all of last year. And here they'll be in the semifinals. And everyone picked them at the bottom of the league going into this season. Liberty would finish its season at 7-9 after an impressive spring campaign.
One minute remaining in the half. 1 minute.
Final minute for Liberty to get on the board. Finley, the talented freshman and son of the head coach, trying to make a run. Good ball. Headed away. Stetson still clean as they've been throughout on the back. Captain Alex Turner can let that one head out of bounds and watch seconds tick away. And Stetson will not only win this opening round match,
10,
but they will end up
8,
with a 0 on the board.
6, 5,
4th shutout of the season for the
2,
grad
1,
student netminder
0.
Jacob Berger. Congratulations to the Stetson Hatters. They advanced to Sunday's semifinal with maybe their most impressive victory of the year. They lost their opener in conference play this year to Liberty 2-1. They avenged that loss with a 3-0 victory in the opening round of the ASUN Championship. So Sunday in the semifinals here in Nashville, it'll be Lipscomb against Stetson. That's 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Goals from 3 different players. Nelson Pereira, his 8th, the freshman of the year. Oliver Broinus, his 6th, and Achmir Spengler with 1 for good measure, his 6th as well. Neil Solons with a final score, one final time here in Nashville, Tennessee. Stetson 3, Liberty 0. Thanks for joining us for the ASUN Men's Soccer Championship.